In this video we will install Claude Code, integrate it with an IDE, and cover everything you need to know to be as productive as possible. So what is Claude Code? Claude Code is a terminal application which allows you to use Claude LLMs. Unfortunately, Claude Code isn't available for free. There are two payment methods: API usage or subscription plan. With the Pro subscription, which costs $20, you can access the Sonnet 4 and 3.7 models. If you choose to pay $100 or more for the Max plan, you will get access to opus model as well, which is considered to be the leading model for programming, but it's kinda expensive. If you have Mac or Linux, you need to have Node.js 18 or above, and you just need to install this command. This is what we're going to do in this video. If you have Windows, you need to install it via Windows WLS. You can watch this video for installation. Great, let's take this command and execute it. I'm going to paste it here. I won't execute it because I already installed Claude for this tutorial. After the installation, you can enter any terminal you want. For example, I'm going to use the terminal in my cursor and just write Claude. When you write Claude, it will start the application in the terminal. The next step I need to do is to log in. In order to log in, I just enter /login, and now I have two options. I have the subscription option and I have the API usage option. I'm going with the subscription. After that, it will open a browser and ask you to log in. After you give it the permission to log in, you will see this message: logging successful. Now I want to integrate my Claude Code into Cursor. In order to do so, I need to write /terminal setup. You can see that I already integrated with Cursor. This integration provides two benefits. One, you can open Claude Code terminal in a vertical way, just like you can see here. And two, when Claude Code asks for modification, you will see the changes in the IDE and not in the terminal, which is better in my opinion. If you are new here, I share tips and tools to have developers ride the AI wave, so sub and like to help us provide more value for you. Alright, now we are ready to write our first prompt: create a website for my YouTube channel. If I'm going to click enter, it will immediately start to write code, but I want to switch to something called plan mode. In plan mode, I can see how the LLM receives this task, how it plans to execute it, and I can review it. This gives me the control of how the code will be written, and I can change it according to my needs. In order to change to plan mode, I need to click Shift Tab. On the first click, I'm going to see auto accept edits on. We are going to talk about it in a second. On the second click, I'm going to see plan mode, and now I'm going to execute it. That's nice. You can see that it has a plan. I'll create a modern responsive website with the following components: index HTML, styles CSS, features, tech stack, and so on. And now he asks me to proceed. Let's tell him to proceed. In Claude Code, this is how you should review the generated code. By default, it asks you to review a file one by one. For example, he completed with the index.html, and now he wants me to review it. Do you want to make this edit to index.html? If I'll tell it yes, now it will generate the next file and ask me again. If I want to change it and to allow Claude Code to work on all the changes he wants to do, and only after that come to me and tell me these are the files that I changed, for that cases we have something called auto edits. Again, if I click Shift Tab, you can see that I have auto accept edits on. If by mistake I close the last terminal, I can just write claude.c. Let me make it bigger, and now it will create it again with the last terminal, as you can see here. If you want to write a long prompt, you can add spaces between the lines. For example, just click Shift Enter and it will create spaces, and now you can write your sentences on different lines. If you want to attach images or designs to the prompt, you just need to take the image, drag it to the terminal, click Shift. Now it is available in the terminal and you can use it for reference or for the task you want to ask the LLM to do. You can also select lines and add it to the prompt. For example, I'm selecting this one and you can see that 2 lines are selected. Time to cover useful Claude commands, but let's start with an important background. LLM, large language models, are stateless. Every time you send a prompt, it attaches the whole conversation or context you added. Our friend Claude Code are using LLMs like Sonnet and Opus. After we understand this, we are ready to try the init command. If I'm writing /init, when you type init, you can see that Claude Code went over all the files and created a documentation in clade.md. Now every prompt that you are going to send will include this file. You can see that it has a project structure, development commands, and all the info that is relevant for the LLM for future usage. This is our way to add rules, just like cursor rules. If you are familiar with the concept, you can go here, add, let's say, project rules, and add your project rules. For example, use camel case for functions. And for example, always add tests to each function that you are writing. From now on, these rules are going to be read every time I write a prompt, so this is very useful. Great, now let's talk about the clear command. Every time you send a prompt, it attaches the whole conversation. This can lead to a slower request because it has to digest all the input, and of course it will cost you a lot of money because you are using more tokens. Here comes the clear command. You can just click /clear and this will clear the conversation history and free up context. I suggest to use this command as often as you can. Every prompt, ask yourself, is this prompt relevant to the previous conversation? If the answer is no, of course use the clear command. If the answer is yes, and you can see that the conversation is just growing bigger and bigger, you can use the compact command. The compact command will clear the conversation history, but keep a summary in the context. Let's see what it means. Okay, the compact command was executed. If you want to see the full summary, you just need to click Ctrl+R. This means that from now on, I'm not going to send the whole conversation, I'm just going to send the summary that was created. Our next command is model. For example, if I click /model, you can see that it tells me which model I can use. I only get Sonnet because I'm poor, so if you want to support me, you can click on this subscribe button. We also have the cost command. If I click /cost, and this will show me the total cost and duration of the current session. Because I have a pro subscription, this will not be monitored, as you can see here. But if you are using Claude Code based on API usage, you will see the costs of this session. We also got /MCP. This allows you to install MCPs. This is kind of a big subject, so drop a comment if you want me to cover it in another video. MCPs can take you to the next level, so make sure you watch this video about the official GitHub MCP. Thank you and see you in the next video.